Steve Brailsford, where we welcome you to tonight's first GLVC action tonight here at the IPFW Mastodons, and it'll be IPFW taking on St. Joe, the Lady Pumas. Right now, IPFW, Steve, hosts a record of 6-2, and the Lady Pumas come in here with the 7-0, and this is obviously their first GLVC action, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty good game.
That's right. The Lady Dons are undefeated here at home, and they hope to keep that streak going with Lisa Miller and the suddenly high-scoring Pam Edwards, who scored 51 points in her last two games.
That was a very good game from Edwards, and that was IUPUI right here at home. Today it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. They've got one person who is averaging about 18 points per game, and they have actually two people that are doing that, and we have one within Lisa Miller at 26 points per game. So scoring-wise, we're pretty even. It's just going to be interesting to see what kind of defense I think that both teams come out and play to be able to stop each other from actually scoring inside or outside. Rebounding
and defense be the key, I would imagine.
We got a good crowd out here tonight, and I think that that's halfway because of the Christmas season, but also because St. Joe has some local girls. Lori Hissong comes from Harlan, Indiana, and played for Leo. She's a freshman for St. Joe this year, and also a junior for St. Joe is Tia Glass, who played for Northrop High School here out of Fort Wayne. IPFW has also some local girls, so I think that helps draw a crowd, and everybody's out to see a good basketball game.
It's homecoming, and we hope to have a good game tonight.
Well, we'll be right back with you after these messages, and stay with us. Come back to watch the rest of the game.
So cool last time.
And welcome back. We're now up in our booth, and as the teams are doing their final warm-ups, we've got 1 minute remaining, and pretty soon the teams will come off the floor, and we'll be ready to start tonight's action.
And we can run down the probable starting lineups for tonight's ball game. Of course, IPFW will have Lisa Miller at guard, averaging 26.6 points a game this season. And Tina Manier will be the other guard. Tina, the outside shot threat for IPFW. She's hit half her three-point shots so far this year. She's 14 of 28. And Amy Hogan, Shelly Sands, and Pam Edwards we expect to round out the starting lineup for IPFW. Players to look for St. Joe include Tia Glass from Fort Wayne. She's averaging 18.7. And Sloan Hoy of Huntington averaging 18.3. And looks like we're getting ready to have the starting lineups announced, and we'll see how psychic we were on those probable starting lineups.
I'd say that's a pretty good psychic, though, with that kind of scoring average. You figure if they don't start, they're going to be in right away, but most likely they will be the starting part of the starting lineup for both teams. And we're going to throw this down to the floor right now, as I do believe we will hear the introductions of both teams.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the IPFW Multipurpose Athletic Center and the start of the Great Lakes Valley Conference season as it pits the St. Joseph Lady Pumas against your IPFW Lady Dons. Let's meet the starting lineups first for the visiting team from St. Joseph's College. At one guard, a 5'7" senior from Huntington, Indiana, number 14, Paula Klein. At the other guard, a 5'9" junior from Orland Park, Illinois, number 13, Carrie Krapik. At the center position, a 5'11 junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 23, Tia Glass. At one forward, a 5'9 junior from Oxford, Indiana, number 24, Cheryl Clemmy. And the other forward, a 5'10 junior from Hamilton, Indiana, number 31, Sloan Hoy. The head coach for St. Joe in his second season is Keith Freeman. He is assisted by Linda Deno. And now the starting lineup for your IPFW Lady Dons. At one guard, the leading scorer in the women's Division II, a 5'9 senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 24, Lisa Miller. At the other guard, a 5'7 junior from Waterloo, Indiana, number 45, Tina Manier. At the center position, a 5'11 junior from Jeffersonville, Indiana, number 43, Pam Edwards. At one forward, a 5'10 junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Amy Hogan. And the other forward, a 5'9 senior from Huntington, Indiana, number 35, Shelly Sands. The head coach for IPFW in her first season is Eileen Kleinfelter. She is assisted by Diana Small. The officials for tonight's first contest are Kent Smith and Rick Foxon.
Definitely has got a bigger crowd, I believe, on this side of the floor almost than IPFW. And like I said, I think a lot of that has to do with the local players that are playing for St. Joe, as well as all the local players and the people that are here just to see IPFW play. So it's a great crowd here tonight, and I think the girls will really appreciate being able to play in front of that side of the crowd. And as during the beginning announcements, they said Lisa Miller, and she is right now, according to the latest NCAA statistics report, the leading scorer in Division II with 26.9 points per game, and that says a lot for Lisa, and that goes back through December 15th. So obviously, any games that are played now that it may have changed, but as it stands, as of December 15th, Lisa Miller was that leading scorer. So that says a lot, and that's one person that St. Joe is going to have to key on, that's for sure, during the ball game, because if they don't, IPFW will get a lot of points out of her. And I guess we're getting ready to go here with the opening tip-off. It'll be Pam Edwards and Tia Glass for St. Joe. And it looks like it's going to be St. Joe ball to start off with this evening. And they're going to look for going under the basket right away, but they lose control of the ball. It'll be IPFW's ball. And we'll see how IPFW gets off, if they get off to a good start or a little nervousness in play, seeing that they have had 9 days off from their last basketball game.
Well, hopefully they're not too nervous.
Hopefully not. They shouldn't be by this point in time. They should be out there just to play basketball. And Shelly Sands shoots and misses, and then we're going to have a foul there on Tia Glass as she's over the back.
Personal foul.
And the Tia Glass fans applaud that foul for some reason. I don't understand it.
Yay, they're ready. They're happy to see her play again, I guess, rather it be fouling or whatever. And there goes Lisa Miller, opened up in the inside, shoots and misses, and the rebound comes down, and it's St. Joe ball.
She was too wide open on that shot.
I think maybe that shocked her a little bit, being that wide open. And Tia turns, shoots, and gets it to fall. There'll be a foul also on the play. And they're going to have to watch that. Tia is a leading scorer for St. Joe. And that was a foul on Pam Edwards. That's her first first foul this game. And we found out that was some trouble last time when she got a couple fouls last game that we did really early and was pulled out of the game. So we'll have to see if she watches herself today or if she gets into foul trouble early. Foul shot is good. St. Joe leading 3-0.
Pam scored 51 points in the last 2 games, so she's become an important offensive weapon for IPFW as well.
And there's a missed shot by Manier. And we've got some quick offense going on here, and that was a quick basket by number 24, Cheryl Clemmy, for St. Joe. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty fast game right now, the way they're both playing, getting the ball down. The inside's been open, but unfortunately IPFW has not been able to hit the basket. Pam Edwards up with a short shot, misses, gets her own rebound, up again, and good. And there's 2 points for IPFW. And there goes the ball down quickly to Tia Glass. She's up, and the shot's no good, gets her own rebound. Edwards straight up, comes down with the rebound, and that also was crucial in her last game that she played.
Tia kind of forced that shot.
And there's Lisa Miller getting a little bit of a shove after she shoots a basket, misses, but Edwards gets the rebound. IPFW with the chance still to get a basket. IPFW looking for an inside shot right now, goes to Miller. Edwards out to Hogan, and she puts it up, and it's in and out, rebound to St. Joe. Tough shots there that haven't fallen for IPFW early. And they're going to dump it into Tia, obviously, and there was a nice move. And 2 points for Tia Glass, and that's a 7-2 lead for St. Joe, the Lady Pumas over IPFW.
She got the defense flat-footed on that move, but Lisa Miller gets those 2 right back.
IPFW trying to keep the inside closed off. Believe in a 2-3 zone, and oh, they're going to get a foul, and that's going to go against St. Joe. Surprisingly, I think Edwards thought she got it, but that's on number 31, Sloan Hoy.
She heard the whistle and cringed, but she had good position on the rebound, and Hoy on the foul.
And that's team foul number 2 for St. Joe. 7-4, 17-14, obviously the very beginning of the first half of this game. Amy Hogan looking around, and she takes the shot, and it's no good. St. Joe rebounds the basketball, brings it down the floor, looks for the open person under the basket. IPFW drop back quickly, though. St. Joe going to take a 15-footer. It's no good. Pam Edwards not able to get her hands on the ball. A little bit of a scramble there. It's going to be a possession ball, and that's going to be IPFW's.
Jump ball. Possession error favors IPFW.
Good hustle by Amy Hogan on that loose ball, kept it alive, was able to tie it up, and the arrow was pointing in the Lady Dons' favor. So once again, a chance to come down and get to within 1, maybe tie it with a 3. Whoop, travel. Tina wanted to pass, but she took 1 step before she could get the pass away and turn the ball over.
Sometimes that happens. The mind's thinking quicker than the body's reacting, and causes that kind of.
Or she kind of dribbled into trouble there and wasn't able to make the escape pass without taking that extra step as the defense for the Lady Pumas cut her off.
And the Pumas looking. There's a 3-point shot up and no good. That was by Paula Klein. And I believe that is the person who, for them, who has been hitting 44% of her 3-point shots, and that is. So they're going to have to watch her. She will throw it up. She's 7 for 16 right now in the season, and that's how you get that 44%. And there's Tina Manier for 3, and definitely short.
Blocked. Klein played good time. Oh, no look pass.
Oh, lovely pass, and it's going to draw a foul. As number 31, Sloan Hoy, went up with the basket. But the pass has got to be contributed to Paula Klein. And that foul's on, I believe, going to be on number 45, Tina Manier. And we've got a couple substitutions coming in for St. Joe. Lisa Baishu and Sandra Green coming in. Tia Glass is taking a seat, and also Cheryl Clemmy.
Baishu has been a starter at times for the Lady Pumas.
And the first one is up and good. And that's an 8-4 lead for St. Joe. she gets the second one to drop. IPFW just needs to get some baskets to start falling through. The shots have been there. And Lisa Miller is going to try, but she's going to draw a foul by number 34, Sandra Green, who just entered the ball game. That's not a way to start, but
at least she's in the scorebook now.
Number 34, Sandra Green, her first, the team's third.
And since that was not a shooting foul, the ball will be out of bounds for IPFW. The Lady Dons just trying to get into a rhythm out there. Lisa Miller looks for an open shot, and she's going to take it, and it's no good off the front of the rim. St. Joe gets the rebound, and they're going to come down, look for a quick shot, and there was a little bit of a bad pass inside. Lisa Miller was there to pick it up, bring it back out.
Oh, I couldn't handle it. Up.
Up, Tina's going to get, oh, I thought she was going to get travel, but they're going to call the foul before the travel, I guess, and that's going to be on number 14, Paula Klein, for the Pumas.
Or they called the foul, or the travel occurred because she got hacked, but
I don't know.
she got a break, or we got a break.
We got a break on that
play.
one, that's for sure.
Or at least we get to keep the ball. And I say we like I'm out there, but the Lady Dons have the ball and a chance to cut the lead. And
there's great defense by St. Joe. That's a 5-second call on IPFW. And that violation will turn that ball over to St. Joe. And boy, we don't need very many of those. Or I should say IPFW doesn't. They've been averaging only 14 turnovers per game this year, but I don't think I've seen too many from inbounding the ball. St. Joe looking for an open shot. Going outside. And Lisa Miller once again is in the right place at the right time. And
good
I believe
hands.
she will take this on herself, but instead she's going to draw the foul. And I believe it's going to be on 13. We'll see Carrie Krapek.
Miller had Amy Hogan open on her left, but she couldn't get her the ball because she was cut off by 2 defenders.
So you might as well take it up yourself and draw the foul, and that's what Lisa did.
Well, that's the wise thing to do because she's one of the nation's best free throw shooters as well as a leading scorer.
And they get the ball in bounds this time. Tina Manier looking for someone open as Cheryl Clemmy is sticking very close to Lisa Miller, and there's a steal by number 14, Paula Klein for St. Joe. St. Joe is providing a very sticky defense right now, and especially against Lisa Miller. Like I said, they're going to have to stop her. And there is a missed shot.
And I think Tia Glass got nailed in a foul too, and she can't believe it.
Oh, I think they wondered where that one was. I think she pushed off when she grabbed the ball, and that's what the ref saw. But that wasn't one of the major fouls we've seen, and I think she's just a little surprised. It was a little bit of bouncing under the basket, but that's pretty normal, and I think she just got caught on one there.
Well, she out-quicked IPFW to the ball, but she was judged to have fouled in the process.
And that's why we sit up there and they are down there in the stripes, although we have some comments about them every once in a while.
Hogan for 3, nope.
And St. Joe rebound. And they're going to get down the floor quickly. They look under the basket. Sloan Hoy passes it back out. That shot's no good by Clemmy. And I believe this time we're going to have a foul on IPFW, and it looks like it's going to be on Hogan. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be on Shelly Sands.
Still a common foul, although the Lady Pumas have 16 fouls already. So their next foul will send IPFW to the line.
And we've got a timeout on the floor, and we will...
The college, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including our monthly sports programming. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to College Cable Access Center at IPFW. The address is 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana. The zip code 46805-1499. Or you can call at 481-6582. I was just so excited to read that announcement.
I guess,
I was
that's all
eager.
right. I think I was just going to say it was IPFW timeout. And there we caught a little bit of the cheerleaders, and there's the huddle for IPFW as Eileen Kleinfelder, I'm sure, has a few things to say to the girls as they have a 5-point deficit right now in the game. St. Joe leading 9-4. And St. Joe with the basketball.
Freshman Jamie LaRue in the ball game for the Lady Dons now, giving Amy Hogan a break.
And Lori Hissong is in. And she has control of the ball. It dumps it inside to Lisa Bayshu. Oh, and they called Sands on the line. Oh, I don't know what that call was. I thought that they were saying Sands was on the line when she threw it back in, but IPFW controls the basketball.
Well, it apparently bounced out of bounds off the Lady Puma before Shelley touched it, so Lady Dons get the ball and turn it over.
And Tina just lost control there. It bounced off of Lisa's leg, went out of bounds, and Lisa's like, just settle down, let's go. She's going to try to get this team together.
A little out of sync after the holidays, I guess.
Oh, I think we all are. Lots of good food and lots of family visiting, and I don't think I'm really ready for basketball to begin yet, but I guess everybody's got to get back into the groove of that and work. And there's a nice hands-on by Tina Manier as the pass tried to come back court there.
Still 9-4. If you left and came back, no one scored since.
And there's a nice pass inside to Lisa Bayshu. And they're going to look to go to her on the inside. And Lisa Miller's looking for an open shot. She's going to drive, take the shot, up and good. Nice basket by Lisa, considering there was a lot of traffic inside. And there, number 15, Lori Hissong, former player for Leo. She's from Harlan, Indiana, and she's just a freshman this year for St. Joe. And she gets a bucket. Lisa Miller looking for an open person. I think actually looking for an open shot. Dumps it off to Sands from the outside. Up and good.
Whatever the coaches said at the timeout worked.
Some nice movement there for IPFW. Sands was totally open. And we'll see what they do here on defense. Oh, and there's a three-point shot by Lori Hissong. I would say she's playing like not a freshman, like an experienced player out there right now, and IPFW is going to have to watch out. Lisa Miller, and there's the experience. They're going to give her a charge, and they're not going to count the basket. And that's Lisa's first. We've got a substitution in the game. 54, Kim Recker's coming in. Going to give Shelley Sands a little bit of a break.
Well, that was an unfortunate call as IPFW finds itself down by 8 points, and they lose a basket there.
Well, I think they brought Recker in. Recker's 5'11" to post up a little bit against some of the height that St. Joe's provided down low. And there's a loose ball, and we're just going to tie it up here, and that's going to be St. Joe by possession. Jamie LaRue kind of just covered it up.
Too much football yesterday. Thought she was recovering a fumble. She might have been able to pick that ball up and keep possession for the Lady Dons.
Yeah, too many bowl games. And there's a nice pass inside, but it's going to be a short shot by Hoy.
Lisa Miller held her ground on that.
And IPFW looking to get back into this ball game as they're down by their largest lead right now, 8 points. And Edwards takes a shot and good. She looked for an open person, didn't find one, and took the shot herself, and that was a nice basket by Pam Edwards. St. Joe looking to go low, not able to find anybody, and there's going to be the outside shot, and that's good by Clemmy. And there's going to be some outside shooting, it looks like, by St. Joe, so they've got a good game inside now, and IPFW is going to have to find a way to stop it. And Recker takes a shot up and good. And we're glad you joined us here. Just for your information also, this evening following this game, the St. Joe men will be taking on IPFW men. So if you're a little bit tired of football, hang around and watch some good basketball.
So far, the interior defense for the Lady Dons playing a pretty solid ball game. Kim Recker deflecting that pass out of bounds.
And there's a shot inside, and she gets the roll. Lisa Bayshu, I think she just did that to stop your statement.
I put the kiss of death on that one,
yeah,
didn't I?
guess so. That's all right. And there was a nice idea by Tina Manier trying to get it into record, but they're going to call the ball off St. Joe, so IPFW will get the ball back. And Amy Hogan's coming back in along with Shelly Sands. LaRue and Recker came in and did a nice job filling in, giving them two a break. And we'll see what happened after they got off, got a little bit of break. Lisa Miller finds a hole up and no good, but she's fouled.
She got sandwiched.
Hey, don't get me going on food. Let me tell you, I had plenty over the holidays. Do you think it was Thanksgiving all over? But Lisa's going to go to the line, shooting 2 shots. First one is good.
Lisa's hitting 77% of her free throws so far this year.
And the second one is up and also good. IPFW drops the lead to only 6 points now. St. Joe 20-14. And they're pulling out on a man-to-man here. We'll see what happens. Oh, there's a travel, and that worked.
That paid some dividends right away.
And they're going to take the IPFW. Will take over. And Lisa Miller looks for a shot. Nothing's there. Out to Edwards. IPFW trying to get open. Tina Manier drives and shoots, but it's off the glass, no good. St. Joe's Lisa Bayshoe comes down with the ball.
Nice play by Shelly Sands to knock that pass away.
And we've got a lot of rumbling in the crowd from that one. I think they thought it went off of IPFW last.
Couple breaks the Lady Dons have got, but good hustle getting back on defense by Sands. That's a couple times she's broken up a pass to a person driving to the bucket.
And Lisa Miller hangs on to that kind of wild pass, and Edwards takes it up and this time doesn't get the roll.
One problem with Pam Edwards taking that shot from the free throw line is she's the best rebounder, and if she's outside, she's not there to get the offensive rebound.
That's right, and there was the ball off of Bayshoe, and it will be IPFW ball.
Unofficially, I've only noted a couple IPFW offensive rebounds so far tonight. Tough, scrappy, hard-nosed man-to-man defense being employed by the Lady Pumas, giving the perimeter game of the Lady Dons a little bit of trouble here.
IPFW looking for an open player. They dump it inside to Manier. She turns, shoots, and scores. Nice basket by Tina Manier.
So apparently Coach Kleinfelder's wanting to send the guards down low and post up and put the forwards out high to see if we can get something going.
And there's a basket by Hissong. Tina Manier brings the ball down quick. Lisa Miller loses control, and it's out of bounds. St. Joe ball. Eileen having a few words there for the players. I don't think they're very good ones right now.
She was just imparting some suggestions, maybe.
Correct. And then we're going to have a three-point shot up and no good. IPFW rebounds the ball.
Look out.
Miller gets it stripped away, loses control, and it's going to be the Puma ball. I think she turned, wasn't expecting anybody right behind her, and lost control. And there's a shot no good by Hoy, and boy, they can't afford to miss those. That was a wide open shot. I think maybe she was also a little unexpected to be that open underneath the basket.
They've missed a number of those little inside shots.
And the ball is called white ball. It's off of the Lady Pumas. IPFW to inbounds. And Miller gets the ball, looks, drives, shoots, and scores. It was a nice shot by Lisa. She was behind the basket as she put that one up, but it falls. 2 points for Lisa.
8 on the night so far for Miller. Lisa sometimes starts slow in the first half and has a real hot second half.
Just builds up in the game, and boy, are they good at dumping that ball inside, and that was Lisa Bayshoe. And those guards just look for her to cut. back behind the basket, and they just drop the ball right through the defensive players. That's something that if you just notify the players that they catch on to that, that ball can be stopped really quickly because they're there. Sands dumps it inside to Edwards. Edwards up and no good.
Bayshu cleaning up on the boards right now defensively.
St. Joe playing a pretty effective offensive game right now, even though they are missing some of the inside shots. And there's going to be a shot up and good by Lori Hissong, and boy, is she hot. They're going to have to watch out for her. Their leading scorer, Tia Glass, is on the bench, but I think Lori Hissong is pretty much filled in right now. IPFW once again with an 8-point deficit, and there's
that
a
should have been a kick. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's an intentional foul.
And Eileen Kleinfelder has a few words for the official on that one. Tina Manier, I believe, just had so much momentum going, and she went up to block it, ended up landing on the back.
Well, in defense of the referee, it looked really bad. It just you couldn't not call that an intentional foul, even though Tina was going for the ball. She seemed a little in shock because the turnover looked like it was because Klein lifted up her leg. It looked like it was a kick ball, but they didn't call it, and she had to get back on defense, and she prevented the shot from going up. And they want to talk about it with a timeout.
And Eileen, as you can see, there is our huddle. And St. Joe will come out of this one with a free throw and the ball. So that's going to give them a chance to expand their largest lead of the ball game, which is 8 points, and that's 26-18 right now with 6 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the first half.
Chance for a 5-point play here with the free throws, and if they would hit a 3 on the resulting possession, IPFW could find themselves in a whole lot of hurt. Lisa Miller leads with 8 points so far for the Lady Dons. Shelley Sands has a bucket. Pam Edwards has 2 outside shots. Tina Manier 1 bucket. And Kim Recker the other basket for IPFW. Tia Glass has 5 points for the Lady Pumas. Lisa Bayshu 6 on 3 buckets. Sloan Hoy has 1 free throw. Cheryl Clemmy 4 points with a couple baskets. And Lori Hissong has 9 points, including 1 3-pointer.
And that was Paula Klein for St. Joe, who hit both of those free throws. And that's what you were talking about, with the opportunity of possibly 5 points out of this. They will inbound the ball. If they get a 3, they'll have their largest lead. Well, they've got their largest lead right now with 10 points. And they were going to look for that shot, but they don't get it, but they're going to draw another foul. Paula Klein drives in backside and is fouled, and I'm not sure it's going to be on record. And they're going to put Paula Klein back on the line for 2 more. And she makes 1 of 2. Right now, we'll see the second one. Is up and good. So it's a 30-18 lead for St. Joe right now. IPFW has got to get some kind of offense going. As LaRue finds out how sticky Paula Klein can play defense. Lisa Miller looks for an opening shot, drives inside and travels as she slips. And I think Lisa was asking people where they were, but it looked like to me she was going to take that shot on her own anyway.
This may be it.
And we had a walk on Lori Hissong. And that's a break.
Key defensive possession for IPFW. Unfortunately, the Lady Pumas turned the ball over. And what do we have
We
now?
got a timeout here. I think they're going to get a shoe tied. Officials timeout.
I'm not sure what that was.
I'm not sure what that was, but they did give time for Miller to tie her shoe, but I'm not.
I don't think they do that, though. So Pam Edwards going to set to come back in.
And Lisa Miller up and no good. LaRue tries to dump it inside, and instead of it getting inside, they got a rebound by St. Joe, and she got it out to an open player, and that was his song.
Good idea, bad pass.
Right. And that basket is up, no good. Rebound St. Joe, and that was number 31, Sloan Hoy. And IPFW is going to have to start getting some defensive rebounds and not give them the opportunity to put another basket up. LaRue looks for an open player. Inside to Shelley, and that was a nice pass. Shelley Sands for 2 points tonight. And a quick pass inside once again, but they're going to draw a foul. Lisa Bayshoe.
Lisa Miller on the foul.
Lisa Miller got pounded on that one a little bit. It's her second, team seventh, and Pam Edwards is coming back in.
Up until that Shelley Sands basket, the Lady Pumas had run off 10 straight points in IPFW. With 5:10 left in the first half. They can stretch that lead back out.
Lisa Bayshoe's first one is up and good for a 1-and-1. And we got a technical foul, I believe, on Eileen Kleinfelder. That might have been what the other ref said earlier. He might have warned her she's been talking, and that way if either one of them see or hear what they want, then
I thought that might be the case.
And St. Joe's first one is up and good, and that was Lisa Bayshoe. An IPFW crowd trying to get into this, and the first one is no good, and that's the first of the two technical. Bayshoe just hit the second of the 1-and-1. And number 15, Lori Hissong, missed her first, and the second one is good. So the largest lead of their game, St. Joe leads by 15 points. And maybe Eileen did that to help get the girls fired up. A lot of times that's the reasoning behind a coach's technical. And if it's not, it's because she's really mad at the officials right now.
Well, if you want to get your team fired up, it's best to do one of those when you're ahead.
Yeah.
I don't think she wanted to see them get down this far. Rebound, Shands. Oh, and she got the foul.
And that foul is on Lisa Bayshoe. And that'll be a 1-and-1 for IPFW. I'm sorry, they called that foul on 24, Clemmy. Don't want to give you the wrong person in case you would happen to be keeping track at home. And Hissong steps out of the ball game for a while. And the first one is up and good. 21-35, 4:58 remaining in the first half. IPFW trailing this ball game. And the second one is good. Couple more substitutions. 44, Amy Hogan coming into the game. And for St. Joe, number 31, Sloan Hoy. St. Joe basketball. I don't know if St. Joe had as long of a break as IPFW. As we said pre-game, that there was 9 days off for IPFW, so they haven't had a chance but to practice against themselves. And there's a lay-in by 25, Lisa Bayshoe, as they find the opening consistently inside.
Well, there's no doubt the Lady Dons look a little rusty after the layoff. The preseason, the pre-conference season for St. Joe has been kept mysterious to us. We know they're just undefeated, and they're playing like an undefeated ball club.
IPFW pulling the defense out a little bit, trying to open it up on the inside. Shelley Sands takes it inside and dumps it. Nice jump shot by Shelley Sands. IPFW trying to get back into this game, and there they dump it inside once again to Lisa Bayshoe, who finds herself open inside. They are going to have to find a way to stop it. And there was a very smart foul by number 14, Paula Klein for St. Joe. Reach around there. on Jamie LaRue.
She said LaRue was elbowing her, but too bad. Well, they'll have to do a better job on defense inside. The lob pass is getting over to Bayshu, and defense isn't getting over to help, and she's eating into IPFW alive right now with the inside game. Coach Kleinfelder may have to rethink that defense.
Be interesting to see what she does at the half. But right now we have 4:06 remaining, and the first is up and good for LaRue. IPFW continually trying to close the gap in this first half of play, and the second one is good. They just need to stop the ball a few times on St. Joe's end and get a few baskets of their own, and I think they'll be all right.
And that defense has been put to rest. Try a little zone action.
St. Joe moving the ball effectively, and that shot's up, and oh, she's going to get the bounce and the roll, and that was by Carrie Krapek. IPFW have the ball out of bounds. 44 Amy Hogan coming back in for the Lady Don lineup.
Lisa Miller's going to sit down with those 2 fouls now. Key here is for the Lady Dons to get back in the game 1 possession at a time and not try to get 5 points in one trip down court.
LaRue almost trapped on the back line. Sands up and no good. Edwards almost with the rebound. Tried to tip it without getting an over the back foul. And they dump it inside, and she traveled. And that was a nice move by Pam.
Still killing IPFW.
That was a nice move by Pam to stop that. That caused her. She turned to look to shoot. She was open, and then all of a sudden she wasn't.
Yeah, Hoy's had trouble tonight inside for some reason.
And there's a break for IPFW as that ball didn't go where it was intended. LaRue looking to drop it inside once again. Tina Manier for 3 off the front of the rim, and she wasn't blocked that time, and it was still short.
Oh.
And the ball's going to go to I think that was a bad call. That's going to go to St. Joe, and there was no one there but Red on that sideline as that ball went flying out of bounds. So there's a break for St. Joe, although they don't need one right now, as they lead 41-26, 2:59 remaining in the first half.
Shelley nearly had a steal, and it got knocked away, and they wound up calling it Puma's ball.
And they keep looking inside, and there's, as they continually cut, Sloan Hoy and Lisa Bayshu do a good job cutting to the basket, and the guards are doing good passing back down to them. But there's a turnover.
Well, St. Joe is working the ball around the outskirts of the zone, and they're getting it. The zone isn't reacting quick enough to stop the shot. Fortunately, some of those shots aren't going in, although that rebound went so far off. We were fortunate to get the ball back because Krapek stepped out of bounds after she corralled the long rebound.
And there's inside to Edwards, and she just ran right into somebody as she turned to shoot.
Pam had nowhere to go on that play.
Just lost control of the ball, couldn't turn around to pass it back out. And there's the dump inside, and there's a nice block by Manier.
Look out.
But St. Joe rebounds, and there's a 3-point shot, no good. And we're going to have a foul inside, and I believe it's going to be on St. Joe. Foul on number 31, Sloan Hoy, and that is her second foul. That'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for IPFW to get a few more points on the board with the clock stopped early in this first half.
It's been a 41-26 for about 2 minutes here.
On the line for IPFW will be number 44, Amy Hogan.
Amy scoreless on the night so far.
And she gets 1 point there as her first free throw is good. IPFW taking advantage of this while the time is stopped on the clock. And the second one's no good though. St. Joe with the rebound. Once again, they're looking for Bayshu inside. And they look, and that time Hogan had her hands on it, knocked the ball out of bounds. It stays St. Joe ball, but this time they're watching for that pass to come inside.
Well, they've got Amy Hogan helping out and fronting Bayshu while Pam Edwards plays behind.
And there was a nice inbounds pass, but the ball was deflected off the back of the rim. Tina Manier pulled down the rebound. LaRue looking for someone open, decides to take it back door, gets it, runs into a double trap there. Nowhere to go. The ball was stolen away by Hissong. Hissong almost traveled.
Walk.
And there is a walk as, let's see, Sandra Green decided to move before the ball was put down on the floor, and that's a break for IPFW.
Was in a hurry to score, wanted to drive, and couldn't get the ball down in time.
IPFW desperately needing a basket here. Pam Edwards just doesn't have the hands, loses control of the ball. St. Joe almost throws away. Cheryl Clemmy holds on to it. And there's going to be a trap, but Tina Manier drops back as she knows it's been
Another
open.
walk.
And Sandra Green walks again.
Good defense on that loose ball. A couple opportunities for the Lady Dons to have committed some silly fouls, but they just maintained their defensive position and wound up forcing a turnover.
LaRue inside to Recker. Recker up in traffic.
Oh,
and
get in there.
she couldn't get it to fall, but she's fouled on the play. And that's on Carrie Krapek.
Number of Lady Pumas got their second foul so far this half. One reason why Paula Klein is on the bench at this point, just as Lisa Miller's got 2 for IPFW. The only, I think the only Lady Don with 2 fouls.
And Kim Recker's first one is up and no good. These are the ones we need to, that they need to hit, obviously, with the time stop, 54 seconds remaining in this first half. Second one up and good.
3 points for Recker on the night.
IPFW trailing by 13. They will get another chance at the basketball this first half, and hopefully they can stop St. Joe from scoring. And they go to Green again. This time she doesn't walk. Back out to Green, up and good.
Oh, and she drew a foul.
And she drew a foul, Amy Hogan. As St. Joe went back and forth trying to find Green open. Eventually they did. She put it up and in. That's Amy's first foul.
Well, it took 3 trips down, but Sandra Green finally got it right.
And 3 trips down and not 3 points. I was glad to say that time and have it not work out.
I would guess the Lady Dons want to go for 1 possession here, 1 last shot.
Now
Or
Recker
go for it
inside to
now.
Edwards. Edwards up and is fouled.
Let's hope it's on Bayshu.
That would be a nice foul if it was. I believe that would be her third. And it is her second foul. Pam Edwards will be on the line for IPFW, shooting 2.
Looking for her 5th point.
First one up and good. Second shot is also good. IPFW finally getting out of the 20s and 30 to 43. They need to stop St. Joe here. And St. Joe definitely will go for 1 shot. And I wouldn't doubt that it goes to Bayshu inside, but it doesn't. And that's an air ball shot by Carrie Krapek. 4 seconds left.
Shoot it. Oh, look out.
Kim Recker got a hold of the ball there, and I don't think she quite remembered where she was in the floor, as that was a little overpowering and up and over the
That's out of her
backboard.
range.
And IPFW trails by 13 in this first half, 30 to 43, St. Joe lead. And the fans are going to stand up and take a little bit of a break. And we'll see what she says after this. And we'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 6 Sports. I'm Rajan Rogers with the campus calendar for the week of January 6th through the 12th. On Monday, January 6th, the Modern Foreign Languages Placement Test will be held in Walb Memorial Union Building, room G21 at 9 a.m. The placement orientation will be held in Walb, room 222 at 5 p.m. For Tuesday, January 7th, the placement orientation will be held in Walb, room G21 at 4 p.m. On Wednesday, January 8th, the Nursing Challenge exam is scheduled to be held in Kettler, room 108 at 9 a.m. The placement orientation will be held in Walb, room 222 at 5 p.m. Thursday, January 9th's activities include the College Level Exam Program, also known as CLEP, will be held in Walb, room 222 at 8:30 a.m. The placement orientation will be held in Walb, room G21 at 2 p.m. ASTRO, the Adults Students Reentry and Orientation Program, will be in the Classroom Medical Building lobby at 5:30 p.m. The Career Assessment Group, Interpretation, will be in Walb G21 at 5:30 p.m. FAST, Future Academic Scholars Track Program Student Ambassador Meeting will be in Walb, room 222 at 6:30 p.m. And for Friday, January 10th, the Nursing Information Meeting is scheduled in Kettler, room 108 at 1 p.m. The Martin Luther King calendar display presentations will be held in Kroninger Magnet School at 2 p.m. For Saturday, January 11th, the FAST program Saturday Academies will be held at 8:30 a.m. On Sunday, January 12th, the Computer Art and Ceramics exhibit will be held in the Fine Arts Building, the first floor corridor. It will be running through 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. Also on Sunday, the opening reception for the Christian Nault art exhibit, which will be held in the Fine Arts Building lobby at 2 p.m. As an academic reminder, the regular registration days will be January 6th through the 9th. The payment deadline for classes will be January 9th. Classes will begin on January 13th. The late registration and drop add deadline is the 13th of January through the 17th of January, and the last day for a full refund for classes will be January 17th. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Campus Calendar. I'm Rajan Rogers, and I hope you've had a happy new year.
Color, space, line, form. These basic elements have been used by painters, sculptors, and architects to create artworks of timeless beauty and value. The Art of the Western World television course examines many of mankind's most enduring achievements and provides you with the key to the language of art.
What do you really give when you give blood?
Another summer. Another dance.
How you doing?
Another song. Another hug.
Good game, man. Don't worry about it.
Another date. Another moment.
When you give blood, you give another chance.
Chico Garcia is the most prolific graffiti artist on the Lower East Side. His murals have become landmarks for the people of his community. But Chico didn't start that way. He began as a graffiti vandal. Armed with a spray can, he stalked the Lower East Side with his friends. His signature was known and respected by every kid in his project. Although it started as a game, Chico realized he could use his talent in a more positive way. He approached the manager of his project with the idea of decorating the walls of the buildings.
I went up to his office and asked him for a job, and he refused me. Then I asked him again after a week, and then I kept tagging my name all over the area, and he refused me again.
It was my role as a manager of the project to get rid of all of the graffiti in the project. And the mere mention of the word graffiti to me was evoked a negative reaction. He had presented himself a number of times as being a graffiti artist, and I could not associate the word artist with graffiti.
He sent the cops to my house, and they was there with a warrant to arrest me. But when they saw my work and they knew I was talented, they told me I should go see Mr. Russo and ask him for a job.
With the cops' recommendation, Mr. Russo changed his mind and hired Chico as a caretaker. Ironically, it was Chico's job to remove graffiti, some of it his own, from the walls of the project. He also painted signs. Soon, Mr. Russo convinced the housing authority to let him paint murals.
Mr. Russo was one of the persons that I looked up to as a father figure, because he was the one that encouraged me to do something right with my talent. And he took me away from that graffiti world, which I was just vandalizing the neighborhood.
Today, Chico's murals are so popular, he can hardly satisfy the community's demand for more.
He's changed the way the Lower East Side looks. He's showing that graffiti and the way people look at graffiti is not the way they should.
I think that's real art, man. That's not pretentious like cocktail party art, man. That's real. Comes from real people that do real things.
Yo, I don't smoke weed or sex, cause it's known to give a brother brain damage. And brain damage on the mic don't manage nothing but making a sucker in you equal. Don't be another sequel.
As time went on and drugs became more prevalent in his neighborhood, Chico felt the need to put a message into his art.
When they say no to crack or say no to drugs, they find that, like a message to them if they're taking drugs. Because a lot of them used to be my friends, and now a lot of them made it, but a lot of them I'm still in the neighborhood, and they got involved in drugs, and they haven't had a chance to really make it anywhere. So I'm there to really give them, a better opportunity in life.
Chico's greatest wish is to revive the pride and the self-respect drugs and violence have taken away from his community. In 1988, he moved into a new area and started painting memorials for the people who died in his neighborhood. He felt this would give the families something physical to hold on to.
When I do paintings like that, I just want to be able to bring them back to the family, to the parents, to the friends.
One of Chico's first memorials was for Jaleesa Rivera. She was brutally raped and murdered at the age of 18. Jaleesa's brother, Nestor, remembers when Chico suggested the idea of a memorial.
At first, he wanted to draw her on the wall and do something really nice, but I don't think my mother would have agreed with that, it was very thoughtful, but it was a lot of pain for the family at the time. So he did a nice memorial on her, just a name and memory and stuff. And we're very happy that he did that. It's just a sign of saying that he cares.
Unlike his other murals, Jaleesa's memorial remains untouched by graffiti vandals. For Nestor, it's a reminder that the whole community was there for him and his family.
I knew a lot of people. I'm very known in Avenue D, but I didn't think anyone would come and help. It turned out to be one big happy family. The community chipped in to do the memorial. They helped Chico, paint the place and stuff. And they gave him a hand, and that was good. And I guess this is what we need in this world. We need people to come together, especially my race, especially Spanish people, and stick together the way we did.
Welcome back to the IPFW Multi-Purpose Building, where IPFW trails by 13 points, 43-30. St. Joe Lady Pumas are leading this ball game, and IPFW came out rather early after the half, 5 minutes remaining, I think, just to get some practice in shooting the ball. They've had some shots, but they haven't fallen, and I think Eileen just wants them to get the feel for the basket again as they had their first opening GLVC game.
Yep, they shot 36% in the first half to 52% for St. Joe, and that's pretty much the crux of the ball game. It was kind of a nip and tuck affair, except for one part midway through the first half when St. Joe ran off 10 points, and that's pretty much the reason for the 13-point deficit that IPFW is facing at this point.
And I have to make a correction here real quick before we go on any further. We've been saying Lori Hissong, and we had her from the wrong school there. I was a little wrong, and that's from Woodland High School, and that's half of the fans that are sitting down in front of us this evening are from Woodland to watch Lori play.
And they're a vocal group.
Definitely very vocal. And the other half, I believe, are here to watch Tia Glass play. And so thus we have a pretty large crowd. But I think the people are out. It's been Christmas, and we have two fine basketball games that are going to happen, the one that's going on right now and the men's game that immediately follows this.
Other first half stats we can look at, the leading scorers for St. Joe, Lisa Bayshu, who was somewhat unstoppable inside, has 12 points, and Lori Hissong has 10 points. The Lady Dons are led by Lisa Miller and Shelley Sands, each with 8 points so far. The shooting, 16-31 for St. Joe. IPFW was only 10 of 28. Each team shot 10 of 12 free throws, and the turnovers are rather even too. St. Joe turned the ball over 11 times in the first half. IPFW turned it over 13 times. And what IPFW will have to do in the second half is cut down on those turnovers and just get better shots and hit the shots that they get.
Yeah, I believe that's more turnovers than they've been averaging lately, though. I think last year they were somewhere rounds of 27 turnovers a game, and they've dropped it down to 14 this year, but they've almost got that already in the first half. So that is something that they're going to have to watch. They're also just going to have to watch that back door as Bayshu continually cuts and they find her open under the basket. Other than that, it'll be interesting to see if we can figure out what Eileen Kleinfelder had to say to the girls during halftime.
It probably wasn't happy thoughts.
I don't think so with a 13-point deficit. And like you said, I believe that a lot of that came from those 10 unanswered points that they just ran off the board very quickly. And IPFW just couldn't catch back up after that. Although they did drop it, it was a 16-point lead. They did get at least down to 13 before they went into the locker room. So they're going to have to come out, get a few quick buckets, get a little confidence, and they should be back on their way.
The thing that was most annoying about the 10-point streak and the way that St. Joe was able to take control of the game is there was the one sequence where Tina McNear committed the intentional foul after the ball. She was stripped of the ball. It looked like it was kicked by St. Joe, but the refs didn't see it that way, so they got the 2 free throws and also the ball out of bounds and converted. And then I believe Coach Kleinfelder was pretty upset by that call because it seemed as if, like I said, they should have called a kick in that situation, and she wound up getting a technical, and once again, free throws taken and the ball out of bounds to St. Joe. Players with foul trouble, St. Joe does have a little problem there. They have 5 players with 2 fouls apiece. Lisa Miller and Tina Manier are the only 2 with 2 fouls for IPFW.
And we're getting ready to begin the second half of action, and IPFW will have control of the ball. St. Joe pretty much stayed back on their defense this beginning of the second half, and IPFW is going to look around once again. There's a shot by Tina Manier up and no good off the back of the glass. St. Joe coming down the floor quickly. Hogan trying to catch up. There's a nice dump off to number 31, Sloan Hoy. And she gets a quick 2 points for St. Joe.
Not a good start.
IPFW is going to have to watch that quick game of St. Joe getting the ball down the floor. They look for that open person and are able to pretty much dump the ball wherever they want. Tia Glass back in the ball game for St. Joe, as well as Carrie Krapik and Cheryl Clemmy. And there's a shot by Carrie Krapik. Also in is Hissong and number 14, Paula Klein. And there's a shot up and in by Lisa Miller, and I think she was looking for a foul, and I think St. Joe was looking for a charge. Neither one called on that. 2 points IPFW.
That puts Lisa Miller at double figures, something she's done something like 66 straight times. That would make 67.
And there goes the ball inside, and it's going to up and good by Sloan Hoy. And I'm not sure she came down on her foot wrong. IPFW almost had the rebound, should have had the first rebound. That gave St. Joe the chance at a second opportunity. And she's going to untie her shoe.
And she'll have to come out because they stopped play for her.
And coming in for St. Joe is number 25, Lisa Bayshoe.
Pretty interesting, the leading scorer in the first half didn't start the second half.
IPFW looking to get some sort of offense going. Trying to move the ball around out to Manier. Manier dumps it inside to Edwards, up, and she gets the roll off the glass. Nice basket by Pam Edwards. IPFW, though, trailing by 15. Needs to stop St. Joe. St. Joe playing a 2-3 offense, trying to pull the people out front, and there's a shot up and good by Tia Glass. And that's a nice baseline shot for Tia. I can remember her playing in high school, and that's a real common shot for her. She's going to take it if she has it open.
Whoops.
Oh, and there's
turnover.
a bad pass by Hogan, although Lisa Miller fights for it, and the ball does get pushed out. It's going to be a jump ball, but possession arrow is going to go to St. Joe. IPFW fighting for the ball. They just look a little bit dead on their feet. They're just not sure where they're going.
Well, for this second half, 4 offensive possessions for St. Joe, 4 buckets for IPFW, 4 possessions and only 1 bucket. And already 1 turnover.
And there's a shot by Klein. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't Klein, that was Cheryl Clemmy. I guess I'll have to wake up this second half because St. Joe is not slowing down one bit. Lisa Miller drives the baseline, loses the ball. Tia Glass comes up with it. Klein brings the ball down the floor quickly for St. Joe. And she dumps it inside to Bayshoe. She misses a shot. IPFW grabs the ball, keeps it in bounds.
That's the first possession they didn't convert.
Lisa Miller dumping it inside to Sands. She's in all kinds of traffic. They tie it up once again. This time it'll be IPFW possession. Not a lot of accurate passing by IPFW. Lisa Miller brings it into Sands, and she draws a quick foul there. And that's going to be the 3rd on Lisa Bayshoe. And that can't hurt as Lisa checks in as 6'1". A little bit of height under the basket there for St. Joe. And they're going to pull her out, I believe. And they are. 31 Sloan Hoy is going to come back in.
Well, they don't lose much in that transition of players.
Not a whole lot. Pam Edwards takes it in, dumps it off, no good.
Lady Don shots look a little tentative right now. I think they're afraid they're going to be missing.
Boy,
nice block.
Nice block. Tia Glass
nice
drove
block
it in.
again.
That time
ball, ref.
I think he's going to call they got an arm on that one. And that's going to be on Pam Edwards.
Her 3rd. Okay, her 2nd.
IPFW is going to ask for a timeout here on this. 34-53. I think that is the biggest lead of the ball game, 19 points. We'll be right back for more GLVC basketball action right after these brief messages.
There was a time many people thought that economics had very little to do with everyday life. Today, it seems there's very little in everyday life that does not have to do with economics. Enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
Back to more GLVC action where IPFW is taking on St. Joe. And by the score, and looking back at some of the past games, IPFW only has 2 losses, 1 to Oakland and 1 to Ferris State. And both of those were fairly low-scoring games for IPFW, which isn't a good sign for what's happening right now as they trail by 19 points. And Ferris State, they only scored 57.
Oh, he misses the free throw. Last time out, the Lady Dons scored 110, but this is Great Lakes Valley Conference action, and they're playing an undefeated opponent.
Tia Glass gets the rebound, so St. Joe gets a chance to put 2 up on the board. And the shot is up and good as Cheryl Clemmy falls to the floor.
21-point deficit.
IPFW is going to have a drastic change here in their game. Shelly Sands dumps it into Edwards. Glass reads it, steals the ball. And we have a traveling, a carry on number 14, Paula Klein. And there's a violation for St. Joe and a chance for IPFW to do something with the basketball.
The problem has been what they are doing with it. That's like 4 turnovers now in just the second half. No offensive flow whatsoever. Nothing is going right.
Tina Manier looking to go back door up and
nice.
Gets the roll. St. Joe dumping it off inside of Glass. She's up and no good, and they're going to call a foul on Sands as she thought she was set for the charge. And I think when they try to do something good and something negative comes out of it, it's not helping their game at all. Couple substitutions, Rutgers coming back in, and so is Dawn Dressler for IPFW. And it's going to be a 2-shot foul. Tia Glass will have 2 shots. We'll see what she can do.
Looking for point number 8 tonight.
And she gets it. Tia, 5'9" junior. I'm sorry, a 5'11" junior. Took away 2 inches. I don't think she would like that.
Oh.
And
deflected pass right to the coach. Fortunately, it's still Lady Don ball.
Lisa Miller to inbound the ball. Out to Edwards. She tries to drive and shoots. No good. Not a real good shot selection by Pam. And St. Joe didn't have anyone to dump the ball to that time as they threw it front court. Another break for IPFW.
They'll need a bushel of them tonight.
Lisa Miller hasn't gotten hot yet, although she turns and just doesn't even like she can control the ball on her dribble there, and that's uncommon for Lisa.
They retained possession, but they'll only have 14 seconds left on the clock. Good defense by St. Joe. And a charge? No, a block.
And that, I believe, Cheryl Clemmy is taking claim to that. That's her second. Be out of bounds for IPFW. They do at least get a new shot clock out of that. Inbounds to Miller. She takes the shot up and no good after it bounces a couple times. They just haven't got the break that St. Joe's had on a few bounces of their own.
Oh, that's got to be a charge, yes.
Nice move by Tia, but Lisa Miller was there and set, and that's going to be a charge. And that's going to be Tia's 3rd foul, team 3rd.
That's a nice move by Glass, but she just spun into a player who had position, and IPFW gets another chance to whittle it under 20. Don't forget we have the men later tonight after this ball game.
Tina Manier shoots, no good.
Now that was a rush shot.
And I don't know what we're going to call. I think we're going to call over the back on Kim Recker as she grabbed the ball, looking for a. Yeah, we do have it on Recker. Tried to tie it up.
Well, Tina rushed that shot at the. She shot that three-pointer flat. It looked like it came a little early. The Lady Dons are reaching the point where they may have to rush the offense a bit, but just things aren't in sync tonight.
And there's a nice dump off, but Bayshu misses that one.
There's a foul.
Oh, Miller is a little bit upset. She's going to have to watch herself. She slammed the ball there right in front of the official, and that's not always a good thing to do.
Well, she was upset at Pam Edwards, apparently, so it wasn't anything with the other team or an official, so I don't think there's any kind of foul they could call there, but it's a struggle tonight. Obviously, you don't want to open the conference season with a loss at home, although they are playing a very good team in St. Joe. But this is not a good way to start the new year, or a pleasant way to start the new year.
And they get the ball in bounds as St. Joe tries to put a little bit of pressure on the ball as they bring it in. And Amy Hogan decides to take a three, and she sinks that one. And hopefully that sparks a little bit in IPFW, gets their defense going. And they bring it back to Hissong. Hissong dumps it in to Hoy, and Hoy got stuffed, basically. Now IPFW needs a big basket here. Miller out front to Hogan. She puts it up again, and it's good. That time her foot was on the line. It's only a two-pointer, but she's hot. IPFW needs to get the ball to her right now. They need another stop right here. They look inside. Bayshu out front. They're pulling the people out, looking for a backdoor cut. They're going to have an off-the-ball foul, and it's going to be on Pam Edwards as she's finding a little bit of frustration there as they throw a few screens under the basket on those cuts, and she just got caught on that one.
Fighting for position, picked up her third.
Tia Glass coming back in for St. Joe. Lisa Bayshu coming out and taking a little bit of a break. There's going to be a three-point attempt by Klein. Up and no good. IPFW gets the rebound.
Got a break there.
Pam pulled that one down
open.
with a little bit of vengeance, I'd say. And that's good. They needed some kind of spark of something. And Manier with a quick driving basket. And IPFW getting a few points of their own.
7-point run here.
They need to keep St. Joe from scoring on this, and if not on the first basket, they've got to pull down the rebound. Tia Glass up and no good. Edwards rebounds.
Oh,
and there's a foul on number 24, Cheryl Clemmy, and IPFW fans are getting up on their feet.
Absolutely stupid foul there. There was no point in doing that, but it's a break and we'll take it.
St. Joe timeout. IPFW moving the ball well right now. They need to see if they can break that action a little bit.
We'll take a look at that last foul. There's the shot. See, there was no point in doing that. She just reached around from behind her. They're always going to call that a foul, so why do it? But we'll take it. Tune in to Channel 6 Wednesday evening, January 4th at 6 o'clock to watch the Lady Flyers from Lewis University take on the IPFW Lady Dons. Catch all the action of NCAA basketball right here on Channel 6. Okay, that's Saturday evening, January 4th. My heart stopped there for a minute. I thought I missed the game we were going to broadcast. And of course, we have the Mastodons coming up after this game to take on the Pumas of St. Joe, the men's variety. We have a ball game here, though. Suddenly a 7-point run, a chance to maybe take a 9th or 10th point, and suddenly with about 12 minutes to go, the Lady Dons are still in this ball game.
I tell you, that's definitely what has awakened the crowd a little bit. And also awoke the St. Joe bench as they decide to become their own cheerleaders here to see if they can't stop IPFW. Tina Manier looks out to Sands. Up and good! 2 points. IPFW closes that lead to 12. With good defense here, they're on their way.
Pam
Look
Edwards
out,
is
set.
screaming for a foul. She's being hooked by Hoy, but nothing's. Oh! Almost a good block by Manier, but she's too short.
Well, at least one thing, she's going to make them earn them from the line, that's for sure.
Well, after that first half intentional foul, any Lady Puma player has to be a little worried when she sees Tina Manier come around, but Hoy will have to hit these two from the line.
And she makes the first one.
It's 9 points for Hoy from Hamilton, Indiana. Rebound, Lisa Miller. Lady Dons will be in good shape here if they can cut it to under 10 by the 10-minute mark. But we turned the ball over.
Pam Edwards thought she had control, thought Glass was going to throw it out, but Tia came up with it.
I think it hit her in the face, but she deflects that pass.
And Tia up and no good. IPFW pulls down the rebound.
A nice rebound by Shelly Sands. Let's try this again now.
Manier, not sure what she was trying to do.
I don't either. But it went off a Lady Puma, so it's still IPFW ball.
I think Lisa Miller was cutting to the basket, but she wasn't on her way when that ball went. Luckily, it went off the leg of St. Joe. IPFW raising their hands like they're a little bit confused.
It's a block.
And there's a blocking foul as Lisa Miller tries to take one up on her own.
That should be 3 on Klein.
And it is. And that can only be helpful as we count down the last 11 minutes and 20 seconds. And as you see the replay here, up and blocking foul. Lisa Miller's first shot is up and good, one more. 58-46. IPFW on a slow trek back. Trying to work trying to work out any of the problems that they had in the first half.
12 for Miller now. Points are coming slow for her so far this half.
It's an 11-point ball game. St. Joe with the ball. Once again, they're trying to go weak side. And they try to dump it inside, and Hoy gets it, but is basically hammered underneath. The foul wasn't called, and they're going to call 3 seconds on her.
A lane violation.
I thought that they had a ball on that block, but I don't know, with her body going down that hard, I think somebody might have got a piece of her, but
well, she was in the high traffic there and got rejected.
Well, if the refs saw her camping out, that's all the better for IPFW right now. Manier dribbling out front, looking for someone to move to the basketball. Miller looking for a shot, nowhere to go, out to Manier, up and no good, but Edwards goes for a rebound.
Oh, a break.
I believe it did go off the hands there of number 15, Lori Hissong. She barely got her fingertips on it, but boy, it sure looked like IPFW knocked it out, but they'll take it.
It always seems like it goes, they call it the opposite way.
They're going to call that a blocking foul there, that's for sure, on number 24, Cheryl Clemmy. As she tried to move right along with Lisa Miller, she saw the opening down the paint.
That's 4 on Clemmy. She's had the responsibility of shadowing Lisa Miller most of the night.
And she's on her way out, and that'll be on number 13 coming in. Number 13 coming into the ball game is Carrie Krapek, and that should be a 1-and-1.
And
as
it
the
will
refs
be.
check, and it is, and Lisa Miller will be shooting the basketball.
She can cut the deficit to 9.
We haven't seen that under 10 in a while, so that would be definitely a nice move for IPFW to hit 2 free throws here as the gym gets totally silent. And the first one's good. The Mastodon, Mr. Don himself, is quite happy with that first free throw, and we'll see if Lisa Miller can put the second one up and in.
Good again.
49-58, 9 points. IPFW continues to break down the lead of St. Joe with good defense. We'll see what they do here. Tia Glass, they dump it into Hoy. She has nowhere to go. She dribbles around, turns, shoots. No good, but she's caught. I believe they're going to call it on Manier. And Tina kind of holds her hands up like, what?
To read her lips, she said, I didn't touch her.
And that's her fourth.
And that could be a problem. She's done a real good job of running the offense in this streak.
And I'm surprised Eileen isn't going to put LaRue or someone in right now to keep her from getting that fifth foul.
Thank you very much.
But the first one is up and no good by Hoy. And I guess if you're going to foul him, you got to make him earn them from the stripe, and that one's no good, and that's out of the whole purpose, even though Manier didn't think she did it. Second one is up and good. It's a 10-point ball game, 10:18 left to go. St. Joe team back up off their feet, trying to get their team to stop the basket, and Miller takes it up, and driving, gets the roll. Lisa Miller with two more as IPFW drops back quickly for defense. Up there to Hoy. Hoy's up and good over Edwards. Edwards didn't have much of a choice there. She had to watch it, or I think would have been into her fourth foul also.
Well, she had good, solid defense. There was just a good shot by Hoy.
Miller looks out to Manier. Manier for three, and this one's good. And we have a 7-point game. They drop it down to Glass. She turns. Actually, she traveled. And they're going to call that on Sands.
And she can't believe it.
Personal foul on IPFW number 35, Shelley Sands. Her third personal
It's
foul.
3 on Sands.
Going to the line for
At the line for the Lady Pumas will be Tia Glass. It's now a 7-point deficit here.
By the way, Tia's personal fan club is here tonight.
Right beside you.
Probably hear them in the background.
And the first one is good.
That's 10 for Glass.
Well, I'm wondering between Woodland and Northrop fans, I don't think too many traveled actually from St. Joe this evening, but it doesn't matter. They've got a big enough fan club here. And she drops the second one.
It's a home away from home game for them.
That's right. It's back to a 9-point game. IPFW with 9:21 remaining. Enough time to really get back into this, as though I shouldn't say get back into it. They are back into it compared to where they were when they came out at halftime. Manier looking for an open shot.
Forced the pass, but Lisa Miller came back with it.
Up and good. There's an experienced move by a senior for you. Lisa Miller turns, takes it on herself, puts it up and in off the glass.
What hustle.
Nice hustle by Lisa Miller, because that was a bad pass into Edwards. And they're going to call the foul on Hogan. IPFW had the same opportunity as St. Joe did on the other end on that pass to strip it away. Instead, waited till they got their hands on it and caused the foul. And it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Sloan Hoy.
Hoy has 12 on the night.
And she misses that one. Edwards with the rebound. 7-point ball game. IPFW with the chance to cut it down, the closest that it's been in a long, long time in this ball game.
Hogan open.
She paused, didn't shoot. Out to Sands.
Bad pass. They're forcing it inside right now. The zone is collapsing for St. Joe.
Trying to open it up in there where they ought to stay outside. Their shooting's been excellent from the outside. You might as well take it while you've got it. Paula Klein looking for someone open, dumps it inside to Hoy. She backs out, up, shoots, and gets the roll.
Nice shot. She just threw that ball up on the rim and let it roll around and roll in.
And that's the break St. Joe has had this whole game. Tina Manier out front. Once again, they're looking like they're trying to open up that inside game. Inside to Miller, she's up and has the ball stripped away. No foul was called. St. Joe coming down the floor quickly, gets the ball stripped away. Manier taking it down. It's a 2-on-2. She's going to pull up. Nope, she drives the paint, finds Hogan open up and good. Nice job by Tina as she started to pull out, but saw Hogan going for the baseline gave her the pass, and Tia Glass also trying the same thing on the other end. Misses the basket, but draws the foul.
Right now, Lady Dons have defensive problems. They can't stop the entry pass down low, and they're ended up fouling on the shot and sending.
And here's the replay.
Of, once again, Tia had the pass, and it was an IPFW player was forced to come over and commit the foul.
And there's the risk that I don't know if Eileen didn't know that was her 4th foul or was not paying attention because she left Manier in. Manier draws her 5th foul, and that forces her to put LaRue in the ballgame, where I think maybe she would have rather taken that chance and pulled her out for a little bit and left her for the last few minutes of the game. But that's the coach's decision. Manier is out for good now.
And a freshman.
And a freshman is in to be her point guard. So we'll just see what happens right now.
Well, LaRue is capable of hitting the 3, and that's what Manier is also a solid performer.
Tia's been pretty solid from the line as she sinks the first.
Makes it 58 to 66.
8-point lead, and it could be 9 and isn't. And Lisa Miller pulls down the rebound. LaRue brings the ball down the floor for IPFW. IPFW finally with a little bit of spark in him, a whole different type of play. Miller up and good.
Nice shot. Unbelievable.
Nice shot by Lisa Miller right over the top of Sloan Hoy.
I think Miller will really try to take a lot on herself now with Manier out of the ball game. Turnover.
And there's a big turnover for IPFW. As it's down by 6, and they have the ball.
And Clemmy's coming back in.
Krapick will come out of the ball game. And we'll
timeout.
And I believe that'll be a St. Joe. We'll see what happens here. Down by 6, IPFW comes back from a 19-point deficit here in the second half with 7:05 remaining. And I hope you're still with us because it's getting exciting in here.
And if you're not, well, tune the game back in, whatever you're doing.
Right.
Remember, later after this ball game, the IPFW men take on the St. Joe men, and our next ball game will be this Saturday. 6 o'clock, the Lady Dons take on Lewis, and then at 8 o'clock, the Mastodons take on Lewis University.
So it's a good opportunity for a one-price ticket to come and see 2 good ball games. And obviously, even though this one got going slow, it's a good one right now. And definitely got the fans back into this as IPFW has really closed it in.
Lisa Miller with 20 points in the ball game now. She's hit, I think that's 6 of 7 free throws. Shelly Sands has 10 points, Pam Edwards 8, Tina Manier 7 points, but she's on the bench now with 5 fouls. Amy Hogan with 8 points, including a 3-pointer that really got the rally started here in the second half.
And IPFW with the basketball. Lisa Miller looking. She gets it back out front. Over to LaRue's looking for that 3-point shot. They're looking to dump it into Edwards, but that's been a bad pass so far. If they can take it from the outside, and Miller does, and it's good. Lisa Miller's getting her hot hand. Let Lisa do it, that's right. Or give it to Amy. Let her shoot it right now from the outside. She's been quiet here the last few minutes. Oh, now that was bad because LaRue came from the backside of Sloan, and she was actually the one that touched the basketball. Miller's hands were straight up, and that's who they're going to call it on, and that's her 3rd.
On Lisa Miller, and she just stood straight up. She must have, did a little body action or something.
I don't know. I don't know if the ref didn't see who caught the ball or not, but Hoy hits the first of 2. And it's back to a 5-point lead. Yeah, these are crucial for St. Joe, whereas they were on the line earlier and it really didn't matter as they continued to climb, but right now they've got to put the bucket in.
Plenty of time for the Lady Dons.
LaRue to Miller. Miller driving the paint, puts it outside to LaRue. She grabs the ball as it was loose. Drives baseline, dribbled out of bounds. I almost didn't think they were going to call it, but they caught it. Kleinfelder's giving her a couple words of just giving her some attention. We'll just say that.
I don't want to act like a coach here, but one thing I've seen LaRue do is she dribbles into trouble like that, where she doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball, and that time it burned IPFW, but hey, she's a freshman. And
she's put into a tie position right now with IPFW continually trying to climb back on top of this ball game. St. Joe looking, they're going to dump it inside the glass, and oh, they're going to say Sands got her hand on it. Tell you, this has been a rough one for IPFW. They do something good and something negative comes out of it. And that's going to be Shelley's 4th foul, as there are quite a few people actually in foul trouble that are playing this basketball game right now.
I imagine everyone on the roster will have 4 fouls by the time this game winds down. It's that intense.
Tia's first one up, oh, she gets the bounce.
13 points for Tia.
She is the leading scorer for St. Joe, or at least has been up to this point for them.
Former Northrop star.
And the second one is good. IPFW needs a basket here as St. Joe stretches it back out to 8 points.
There's still no need to rush anything, just work the offense and play good defense.
Lisa Miller looking to pass it inside out to Hogan, up.
What do we got?
And we've got a foul on St. Joe as I believe Amy went up for the shot, backed off, and Lori Hissong was just in the wrong place, but that's going to be the foul.
They're calling it after the shot, so it's just a 1-and-1.
But that's a chance for IPFW to shoot with the clock stop once again, and they could not connect on any of those that first half, and they need to do that definitely now.
Well, that's the one thing the Lady Pumas have done tonight. They've taken their offense inside and are going to the line and getting the free throws, and IPFW's offense has pretty much been outside tonight.
And the first one's no good, but Miller gets her hands on it, but ends up loose, and St. Joe pulls it up.
Big opportunity there.
Out to Hoy. She shoots and gets a nice shot. Sloan Hoy for St. Joe.
Big bucket.
And it's back to a 10-point ball game. 5:23 remaining in the second half. Lisa Miller takes it herself up and doesn't get the bounce. St. Joe comes down with the rebound. Hoy was double teamed but gets it away. Hogan almost got a shove there in the back. Hoy tries to do the same thing. Uh-oh. Shelley's gone. That's going to be her 5th foul as Hoy tried to, if I can speak, tried to dribble between 2 defensive players and drew the foul. And
well, that's tough. And Shelley's not real happy with the officiating tonight. She'll fall out with 10 points, a couple free throws.
And they're going to put Kim Recker in the ball game.
We see the replay of that foul. Well, we just caught the end of that, but it looked like she was moving, trying to set the block, and she got called for it. And we'll have a timeout now.
And I think we had a timeout, and that's what Kleinfelder was asking her about. Why were they went immediately to their huddle, and they were trying to get their player in for the 5th foul. And here you're going to see it a little better.
Yeah, well, boy, that was hardly a foul. I mean, if you feel like it's time to call something, I guess you can call that, but that was, as we all say, ticky-tack, considering some of the hammering that's gone on inside, especially under the IPFW basket. So that kind of explains the upset IPFW bench.
And there's the end of that timeout, which I think IPFW only got about half of because they were trying to ask the officials if there was a timeout called.
Well, it's time for the Lady Dons to suck it up. They had it down to a 4-point deficit. Now it's back up to 10. They've got to really play some solid defense. Hope that Hoy misses at least one of these free throws. And with 5 minutes, there's still plenty of time. Amy Hogan is capable of hitting the 3-point shot, and Lisa Miller can work inside and draw some fouls, hopefully.
But the first one is up and good by Sloan Hoy.
That's her 19th point on the night.
And that makes an 11-point lead. And the second one is good. Back to 12 points, IPFW needing a basket here. 5 minutes remaining in the second half of play.
Lady Dons need something good to happen here. And there we go. Thank you very much.
Lisa Miller was just basically looking for the foul, driving where there was nowhere to go, and got it. And that's going to be on 23, Tia, and that's her 4th foul. Lisa Miller will have a 1-and-1 and has been really solid from the line so far. Eileen's got a question for the officials.
Keep losing lights here. One thing that's kind of curious, in the first half, the leading scorer for St. Joseph's was Baishu, and she's just made a brief appearance here in the second half. Hoy, of course, with 20 points, probably the main reason Baishu is still sitting on the bench, but it's, I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, Baishu with her 4th foul is definitely why she's on right now, although I think she'd bring her back in.
Okay, that's a good reason. That's a good reason.
Lisa Miller's first one is good.
23.
And the second one is good also. Back to a 10-point lead for St. Joe. IPFW just trying to hang on. And Hoy's gonna go inside. Doesn't get the roll. IPFW gets the rebound.
Nice defense, good rebounding.
First half, St. Joe got a lot of second chances there, as IPFW's defensive rebounding wasn't on at all. I think it was turned off, matter of fact. But there's a steal by Paula Klein. And St. Joe's going to definitely take their time and look for the open shot. They're always looking to dump it inside to Hoy right now. Out to Hissong. Hissong gets it stealed by the freshman to a freshman, LaRue. LaRue takes it up and no good, but Recker's there and good. Nice follow-up by Kim Recker.
Great follow by Recker, great hustle. Great steal by LaRue.
IPFW needing some tough defense right now.
St. Joe's in a different offensive set now as they run the clock. Oh.
Tia Glass, oh, I tell you, she has gotten the roll all evening. That was not a real good shot. Rolled off the front of the rim, hit the glass, and then just kind of bounced its way in.
I questioned the wisdom of that shot, but it went in for him, so.
Lisa Miller takes this one. It's no good, but we got, don't fight for the ball beside yourself.
What do we got there?
I tell you, we got lucky because Hogan and Recker both had control of the ball, and they were really fighting each other for it as though.
That cost them the possession, too.
But we got lucky because Cheryl Clemmy grabbed it, so there wasn't a traveling call on that, which it would have been had the refs noticed that. But then you're right, we did lose the possession overall. And there's a walk by Hoy.
Thank you, ref.
3:12 remaining. IPFW trailing by 10. LaRue, a freshman, running the IPFW offense as Tina Manier sitting on the bench with 5 fouls. Hogan shoots, and that's long, but Edwards has the rebound, puts it back up, and gets the roll herself.
Hogan got a hand in that pass. Backdoor cut burns the Lady Dons there.
Gets another basket. And IPFW almost loses the ball, but Lisa Miller gains control. Edwards with the shot of her own up, and she gets the roll. It's an 8-point ball game, 2:15 remaining.
Gotta stop them here.
.15 on the time clock. St. Joe looking for a backdoor pass. No one's open right now. Hissong out to Klein. Oh, Klein traveled and 3-2, and Klein is not going to get it off. And that was a 30-second violation for St. Joe, and that's a turnover. And IPFW gets the ball back. 1:50 remaining. I tell you, it's going to be a tight ball game here. If IPFW can drop a basket.
think Lisa wants to run the
Yeah.
show now.
Lisa said, this is where I come in, and nice pass. Oh, the foul before the shot because Edwards was wide open under the basket, and that, I believe, is going to be the 5th foul on Cheryl Clemmy,
She's out of here.
and it is.
Well, Lisa Miller, 24 points. She's a couple free throws away from her average. Shelly Sands fouled out with 10. Pam Edwards here, let's see the replay of that shot, or that foul, I should say. And just a little blocking action, about the same damage that Shelly Sands did. That one's good, 25. .136 left in the game. Good again.
And that's good, 6 points.
Still time. Got to play good defense here. It's full court defense now.
Full court press, and they
A steal by Miller.
Record controls the ball. Miller's going to take on 3 people. She drives, no good, and they're going to call. She gets hit in the ball with the ball.
She's a warrior out there.
And that's on number 14, Paula Klein, her 4th.
She's gone.
4th.
Oh, sorry.
They hadn't taken down the 5th from before. I tell you, Lisa wanted control of that. There was 1 on 3, but she was darned if she was going to wait for anybody else to get down there to help her out. And that's experience on her part because she's going to hit these free throws. And that's the first one, and it's good. And the second one's good. It's a 4-point ball game, 117, IPFW with a full court press. And they're having trouble with it, but Miller's going to get called for that one.
That stops the clock. One thing you notice, there is no 10-second call. People think they really got to get the ball across the 10-second line, but that's not an issue here. See if Krapek can miss a couple free throws, or miss one, hopefully. She scores 4.8 points per game. Oh, good shot. Thought that might go up a little too strong.
And Carrie Krapek, second one is up and good. Hey, it's a 6-point game, 1:10 remaining. IPFW waiting to pick up the ball so the clock wouldn't start. And Hogan shoots, no good. Record comes up with the ball. Oh, goes for a shot, no foul called as Glass got her hand on it, but a turnover. Hogan comes up with it. LaRue looks up, shoots,
yes!
Good! Excellent shot by Jamie LaRue, and there's going to be a timeout right now by St. Joe. 49 seconds remaining in this ball game. It's a 4-point game, and IPFW calls timeout. They want to make sure that they can get this ball back quickly on the defensive end of the floor. There we're going to see a nice shot there of Eileen talking to the girls, trying to tell them what to do, and we'll see what happens.
Here's the schedule of our live sports telecast coming up in the next few weeks here on Channel 6. We have a GLVC doubleheader this Saturday at 6. It's Lewis versus the Lady Dons, and at 8, Lewis again playing the Mastodons. Then Thursday, January 16th, we're back here as Bellarmine College comes in to play the Lady Dons and Mastodons. 6 o'clock for the women's game, 8 o'clock for the men's game. Then Saturday the 18th, it's Kentucky State. A doubleheader, the Lady Dons and Mastodons all starting at 6 o'clock. And then the Mastodons, January 21st, a Thursday at 7:30, they take on St. Francis College. 49 seconds left. And full court pressure, obviously.
And there's going to be another timeout. This time it's St. Joe. I think they wanted to come out and see what IPFW was going to do, which is probably a full court press, the thing that they've done the last 3 times down the floor, and been successful with it. So we'll see.
We'll be right back for more GLVC basketball action right after these brief messages.
And lightning may strike. And how do you count the fish in the sea? How can you tell if a child is growing normally, if baseball is getting better, or traffic is getting worse? How do you know about stock market trends, the risk of cholesterol, the history of witchcraft, or the future of spacecraft? With statistics, that's how. And how can you find out about statistics? With the new Statistics series, Against All Odds.
And welcome back to now a very tight game as IPFW still trailing, but now only by 4 points. There's 49 seconds left on the clock. And if you're unfamiliar, there is a 30-second shot clock. So St. Joe could take quite a bit of time off of that if they chose.
Well, if they don't get the steal, they're going to have to commit the foul and hope they miss the free throws. And that's what they've just done.
And they try to do that quickly, as I believe they're going to call that on Amy Hogan. And that's her third personal foul. I tell you, we get caught on that. They leave the last one up.
Amy has 8 points on the night. And she got a couple buckets that really fueled that rally that started IPFW back when they were trailing by 21 points. See if Klein can miss these free throws. She's a good foul shooter. That's why she had the ball, and she hits it.
A 5-point lead, 81-76.
Well, even if she hits this one, it's still 2 3-point buckets, and we're going to have to take them now.
And there's going to be a timeout called. I'm not sure who called it that time. St. Joe. Need to talk about it right now. We haven't had relinquished any timeouts in the game, so they've got him to call. And I tell you, they just want to make sure that they know what they're doing as they come down the floor, and IPFW doesn't get a quick 3-point shot off.
Tune in to Channel 6 Sunday evening at 8 to watch the tape replay of tonight's women's NCAA basketball game. IPFW versus St. Joseph's Lady Pumas. Lisa Miller, 27 points on the night. Shelly Sands fouled out with 10. Pam Edwards with 12. Tina Manier fouled out with 7 points. Amy Hogan has 8. Kim Recker, a couple buckets for 5 points and a free throw. And Jamie LaRue, 4 points tonight. The leader for the Lady Pumas, Sloan Hoy, 20 points. Lisa Bayshu at 12 all in the first half. And Tia Glass of Fort Wayne, 16 points. She's currently carrying 4 fouls. And Lori Hissong of Woodland has 12 points for the Lady Pumas tonight.
And St. Joe's going to put Klein down there just to make sure that IPFW doesn't let the ball dribble before they pick it up this time. And they're going quick, and there's going to be a foul before the shot.
Thank you.
And fans are calling that they wanted to travel, but she got whacked on the arm as she drove the paint. And that's on Carrie Krapek, and that's her 4th. Tell you, there's going to be a lot of people fouled out of this ball game within 40 seconds left, the way that they're playing.
Keith Freeman, the coach for St. Joe, can't believe she committed that foul.
Lisa Miller up and good. Cuts the lead to 5. Boy, it can't. It was just 6. It can't be 3. It's got to be 5. And the second one is up and good. IPFW only down 4. Full court press. Oh, that was a bad foul by Lisa Miller.
And Lisa fouls out. 29 points.
Trying to be really aggressive there and just get the ball right off the inbounds pass, but wrapped her arm around and draws her 5th foul of the game. And Dawn Dressler will be coming in to replace Miller. And that's a tough loss for IPFW right now with 40 seconds left, Steve.
Lisa hit 15 of 16 free throws, most of them down the stretch, finished with 29 points. And of course, her average before the game against IUPUI Indianapolis, Klein hits the free throw, gave her the Division II women's lead at 26-6. She scored 24, so she's right up there with the national leaders. Hey, we get a break.
And the second one's no good. IPFW is going to have to go for a quick basket here and then hope for a steal. And they're out to Dressler, up 3 points. Oh, and it was no good.
Good.
Nice shot by Dressler, though. Good, right idea. And there's a quick foul by Pam Edwards. And I'm not sure, is that her fourth or fifth foul? Fourth foul. Tell you, we had a pretty good crowd before the girls game began, but the house is packing up as the men will follow. And the first one is good by Hissong, and that's a freshman playing for St. Joe, and she's played very well in this game. Like we said earlier, that's half of the fan club down to our left is from Woodland High School.
Unofficially 14 points for Hissong now. It's pretty much over.
IPFW trying to get a quick shot out to LaRue. She sets her feet for three. No good. Record comes up with the ball.
Where's the foul? Where's the foul? Oh, call one now. Okay.
And LaRue gets the foul trying to chase down the ball. There was no foul called, though, as they went up for that rebound. And that's about it with 11 seconds remaining. It's 85-78 St. Joe, and it looks like they're going to remain undefeated and also start out with a win in the first of the year in the GLVC conference play.
Well, a positive you can look at is they fell down 21 points and still gutted it out and made a big rally to close to within 4 at one point. And they had to do it with their point guard on the bench with 5 fouls for a lot of that rally as Tina Manier fouled out. So there's things to build on here.
And the second one is no good by Carrie Krapek, and IPFW coming down just trying to get another basket. Out to Hogan for 3, no good. And they're going to call Dressler.
Come on.
They're really calling some cheap ones right now. There's only 1 second remaining.
Well, reffing's a tough job, but with 1 second left, just say it's a Lady Puma ball and let it go. There's no point in sending him down to the free throw line one more time, but you don't ref by the clock, I guess.
Nope.
Well, next up for the Lady Dons this Saturday, Lewis University.
And we hope you can join us for that one and hope that you stay tuned for the men's action tonight against St. Joe, and hopefully they have as good of a game towards the end, at least, as IPFW women did, and it will be 1 second. They're going to go for a long throw to LaRue. She turns, shoots. Oh, and just off the front of the rim, no good. 88-78. St. Joe ends up winning this one by 10, and I'm going to head down the floor, and I'll leave it up here with you, Steve.
Okay, we'll briefly look at the scoring here. Lisa Miller finished with 29 points. Shelly Sands had 10, Pam Edwards 12, Amy Hogan 8, Tina Manier 7. For the Lady Pumas of St. Joe, Sloan Hoy unofficially with 22 points. Lori Hissong also from the Fort Wayne area with 14. Northrop's Tia Glass finished with 16 points. Klein had 7, Carrie Krapek had 5. But the Lady Dons come up short in the first of the conference games this season. They fall 88-78, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Color, space, line, form. These basic elements have been used by painters, sculptors, and architects to create artworks of timeless beauty and value. The Art of the Western World television course examines many of mankind's most enduring achievements and provides you with the key to the language of art.
If you think mathematics is all in books you left behind in high school, it's time to think again. There's a new and vital mathematics in the world today, and it's at work in every area of our lives. It enables us to manage more effectively, with better routes, efficient schedules, and economical use of resources. It gives us control over the quality of our products and confidence in new ways to care for our children. It helps us understand the patterns and shapes of geometry as they occur in nature and in art. It makes possible every one of the amazingly diverse things that computers do. It helps us find fair ways to make group decisions and holds out hope for new ways to resolve conflict. Find out how the practical side of today's mathematics is affecting your life. Watch for All Practical Purposes.
I believe that we can restore prosperity.
For over 40 years, the primary responsibility for shaping America's economic policies rested with the Office of the President. To learn how these decisions are made and how they affect you, enroll in the Economics USA telecourse. It's an education for life.
Tonight, we at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you cablecast of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the games and the excitement of intercollegiate sports at IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of student workers and volunteers, we are able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost, and your contribution will help to defray the production costs not covered by the Channel 6 budget. The College Cable Access Center at IPFW invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to the College Cable Access Center at IPFW. 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805-1499, the zip code. Please make your check out to the Indiana Purdue Foundation at Fort Wayne and designate it for College Cable Access Athletics. Now let's go down to Christy on the floor with today's Dandy Don Player of the Game.
And thanks a lot, Steve. And joining me now is Amy Hogan. And Amy, IPFW got off to a slow start in the first half. What happened?
We just weren't getting the shots we wanted on offense, and we came out at halftime and changed some things on offense and started to get the shots we wanted. It started to work for us then.
You were in at the second half there, and you got a couple quick buckets, which pretty much fueled IPFW's second chance at coming back in this ball game. You know, you hit a quick three, and then right after that, you hit another two. And what was happening?
We were just working the ball around, looking for the shot we needed, trying to get the ball to Lisa to drive and get fouled, and it seemed to be working then.
IPFW really had to hustle. You came back from a 21-point deficit after the first half to 4 points, but you ended up losing by 10 there at the end. Was there anything you guys could have maybe changed a little bit to make this ball game turn the outcome come the other way?
Just our defense. We needed to stop the lob, and we couldn't get that done at times, and that's about it.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining me, and we're going to throw it back up to Steve, and we hope you can stay around for the men's game right after this.
We'd like to take this time to thank the Channel 6 crew, the College Cable Access Center, and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their participation in the live production of our basketball game this evening. The telecast of this IPFW sporting event is the sole property of the College Cable Access Center at IPFW. Unauthorized copying, retransmission, or rebroadcast of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. Stay tuned to Channel 6 following tonight's game as we join University Network programming already in progress. Once again, the final, the Lady Pumas of St. Joe beat the IPFW Lady Dons 88-78. We have the men's game coming up in a few moments. Have a good evening, everybody.